Every personal trainer at one time or another has had a toxic client that just causes them more angst, more stress, and is just a bit of a pain in the arse. Here's what happens when you take authority and you get rid of that toxic client. Sacking clients is quite rare in the personal training field. Generally, the personal trainer gets sacked. When you take the decision to sack a personal training client because they're either not the right fit, they're not treating you with the respect that you think you deserve, or for a whole host of reasons, it's important you do it quickly and efficiently. Now, there's 5 reasons I think that you should sack toxic clients right this second. And here they are. First one, it protects your brand. If you're known for dealing with and putting up with people who are just not very nice, just for the sake of getting their money, it doesn't look great on you or your brand. Now remember, we're trying to build the biggest, best, high-end personal training brand that we can. So if we're dealing with people that don't really fit our ethos when we come to personal training, they shouldn't be part of your business. And it's so important that you get rid of them incredibly quickly. Second of all, you reclaim your authority. So often, personal training clients can start to manipulate you and believe that because they pay some of your bills that they own you and they should do exactly what you say. This is simply not the case. It's not how it works in any other business. Not at all. The business is in control and the business determines what it's going to do. Yes, it has to serve the clients well, but that doesn't mean you're pushed around by your clients. So make sure you reclaim your authority straight away. And we'll come back to exactly what happened in my situation in a minute or two. But the next thing is, it looks after your mental health. Now, I had a couple of clients, husband and wife couple who I trained, and towards the end of it, my head was absolutely screwed because they were just playing games with me. They were trying to manipulate me just because they spent a fair bit of money with me. And yes, my mental health struggled. I did suffer from anxiety, especially in the evenings. My sleep went completely out. I couldn't actually get to sleep because I was worried, I was nervous about the outcome of what would happen if I were to get rid of them, or actually if I was actually going to keep them on board. It really did start to affect me, which is why at the time my business coach said, right, we're getting rid. And it was the best decision, but I'll go into that again in just a minute. But more importantly, number 4, we want to focus on the right people to build your business. Because if you're not happy or you don't like or you don't respect the people you're working with on a daily basis, that will have a negative effect, whether you like it or not, on your personal training business. I try and make sure that every single client is a good fit for my business and for my style of training, but also for the people who I actually want to train. I don't want to train X person or X person. I want to focus on these guys. For me, I want to focus on the guys who are high net worth individuals, fun to be with, hardworking, and constantly asking me questions and making me actually work for my money. I want to know that I've gone in there and done a good job. I don't just want to turn up and take the pay packet. And some of these people who think they can manipulate you. And number 5, deciding to sack a client when you are a personal trainer actually increases your confidence massively going forwards about what you can do and the decisions you can make in your business. Now, when I sacked these 2 clients, husband and wife couple, I'd never made a big decision in the business. I've been in business for over 10 years. I'd never had this sort of thing to deal with. And it was playing on my mind so much. And it probably took me 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5 months actually, to actually make a decision and go through with it. Which looking back is ludicrous. Now, any decision in my business is super simple. As soon as I've made the decision, I do it, I make it, I get it done straight away. So it gave me confidence to make sure that I'm making the right decisions for my business straight away so I can move on and progress and make more money and be happier with my personal training business. So let me explain exactly what happened. I had a male and female client, husband and wife client, who spent a lot of money with me. Over £1,000 every single month was spent with me and those clients. So yes, I was incredibly nervous. Should I get rid of them? Should I sack them off? What were they doing? They were getting angry if I was asking them to do any rehabilitation work at home. They were getting quite stroppy with me because I'd ask them to push that little bit harder every single time in the session, which is a personal trainer's job, and they weren't meeting me halfway. They were also incredibly bad payers. So yes, they did spend a lot of money with me, but I invoiced clearly at the end of each month with 7-day payment terms, and they would take 3, 4, sometimes 5 months to pay a bill. Now, yes, that's my fault. I should have pushed on them, but as I said, I was nervous about it. They'd also get to the situation where I would turn up at their house. Rather than them getting out of bed, they messaged me saying, "Hi Rob, the next door neighbour would like to train, just go over there." And I was like, hang on a second, they're trying to control my business now. I came to train you, and just because you can't be asked to get out of bed, you're going to send me off somewhere else. No way. So, sat down with them, explained I wasn't particularly happy, followed it up in an email, and I was shaking. I was so nervous, but I got rid of them. And as I said, since then, every decision in the business has been brilliant. I only want to work with people I want to work with. And you should be exactly the same. High net worth individuals, highly motivated individuals, people who respect you, your time and your knowledge. And that should lead to having much, much more fun in your personal training business. So that's what happened to me when I fired my first 2 clients. Have you fired a client? And if so, let me know how you got on in the comments down below. But until then, please like and subscribe so I can get in front of more personal trainers and help them with the big decisions in their business.